Hey guys, this week's video is dedicated to all our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel. Really excited for tonight. As you can see behind me, we're setting up for the big summer Shabbos, first Friday. And we'll see over 50 of you tonight. Can't wait. Have you ever had a situation where you had an opportunity to do something positive, but it was out of your comfort zone? And so you said, it's not really my thing, right? Let somebody else do it. There are people who are better at this than I am. It's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not comfortable with that. And we pass on these opportunities because we don't feel 100% comfortable with them. There's a powerful lesson from this week's Torah portion that we can learn from Moses. This week's Torah portion, Parsha Chukat, we have the passing of Aaron, the high priest, Moshe's older brother. And when he passes away, the Torah tells us that the clouds of glory ceased. Why? Because the clouds of glory surrounding the Jewish people, making the path and the journey easier for them, it was all in the merit of Aaron. After he passed away, they stopped. But now it gets interesting. The Talmud tells us that soon after, they returned in the merit of Moshe. Okay, so what's so interesting about that? Well, you see, the Talmud tells us that in general, the clouds of glory were in the merit of Aaron, and the manna from heaven was in the merit of Moshe. Why? Because these really symbolized the qualities that made them who they were. Aaron was a great equalizer. He was always about making peace between people, bringing unity amongst people. And the clouds of glory represented that same idea, surrounding the entire Jewish people. Everybody was equal, surrounded by the clouds of glory. Moshe, as a leader, was about the individual. What does this individual need? Not one size fits all. In fact, as a shepherd, the Medrash tells us that Moshe used to give different types of grass to the different sheep depending on how strong they were. He was all about caring for the individual with the individual's needs, not one size fits all. And the manna, same thing. The manna that came down from heaven wasn't the same for everyone. For the righteous people, it fell right at their door. Other people had to go and get it. There was different amounts. It wasn't one size fits all. But what happened after Aaron passes away? Moshe was like, well, you know what? I'm not really a clouds of glory type of guy. I'm really a manna type of person. But he pivoted. He stepped up to the plate. He saw that there was a need. The clouds of glory disappeared because Aaron, the great equalizer, the great peacemaker, wasn't there anymore. And Moshe says, I have to fill that role now. Even though that's maybe wasn't my comfort zone till now, I have to step up and do it. And that's why the clouds of glory return. And this is a lesson for us. When we have an opportunity, even if it's not in our comfort zone, it's not in our regular wheelhouse that we're comfortable with, pivot. Do it anyway. Go out, step up to the plate. Don't wait for somebody else to do it, because guess what? There may not be anyone else to do it. I want to share with you a powerful story that I read. In Sderot, there's a Rabbi Herzl Shuabi, who's a rabbi of a synagogue. He was also the assistant mayor of Sderot at one point, and now he's on the city council. And he shares the following story that took place on the morning of October 7th. He woke up, got ready to go to synagogue. It was Simchat Torah. He was getting ready to go to shul. The rockets were flying already, and his wife begged him, please stay home. And he said, don't worry, we're used to rockets. They had no idea what was going on. And so he starts heading out. Miracle number one was that as he was walking, he didn't encounter any of the terrorists. In fact, when he saw the security footage from the route that he took, from the businesses that had cameras, 2.5 minutes after each intersection that he passed, a Jeep with Hamas would pass by. He missed them by 2.5 minutes. That was miracle number one. He comes to the shul. He comes in. He starts setting up. It's going to be a festive day. Suddenly, he hears tons of gunfire. He doesn't know what's going on. Is there a robbery? Something criminal is going on. But he still has no idea. He runs out, and he sees it's coming from the direction of the Sderot police station. And so he starts heading there to see what's happening. And that's when he sees men dressed in black shooting up the Sderot police station. And suddenly he realized that bullets are being aimed at him as well. And he turns around and he starts heading back. And as he's running, a bullet gets shot right through his back, just misses his heart. Miracle number two. He's able to make it back, but now he's losing a lot of blood. He picks up the phone. He still has no idea what's happening. He calls the ambulance. He's losing blood. Can they come get him? And they said, yeah, we'll be there soon. He doesn't realize that they're not coming. He's waiting 20, 30, 40 minutes. He feels like he's not going to make it. And he starts saying Shema. He starts saying the Vida, the confessional. He feels like this is the end. Suddenly, in walks Yaron, one of his congregants, whistling Chag Sameach, Rabbi. Yeah, no, oblivious. He lives 2 kilometers away. The rabbi's like, how did you get here from 2 kilometers away? Do you know what's happening? There's a massive terrorist situation going on. He said, you had no idea. And then he saw the rabbi was shot. He said, please get me to the hospital. So he says, do we have a car here? The rabbi says, another miracle. My car is actually parked outside. Usually I walk to shul before the holiday, but I drove my car here right before the holiday because I had so many packages for Simchat Torah, etc. He immediately took the keys. He got him into the car. They drove. Another miracle. They didn't see any terrorists along the way. They were able to get them to Magan Adom, where he was transported to a bulletproof ambulance and taken to Ashkelon, where his life was saved. So many miracles took place along this story. But here's the kicker. Rabbi Shuabi, who's the rabbi of a synagogue, like many rabbis, had amongst his congregation had a fellow who was kind of a troublemaker, kind of what we call a nunnik. He had a problem with alcohol. He would drink too much, and he would come intoxicated to the shul, and he would start yelling at the rabbi in front of everybody, and he would embarrass him, and he would make a scene, and he would say crazy things, and he would stir things up, and it was really uncomfortable for Rabbi Herzl, for Rabbi Shuabi. And he came to the point where he was considering telling this person that he wasn't welcome anymore, because enough is enough. He can't do this in front of everybody, make a scene all the time, cause trouble. But then he thought, no, I can't do this. Another Jew, he's struggling, another Jew who has problems and is struggling. Instead, what he did, he pivoted. He went out of his comfort zone, and instead, when the person would yell at him, he would just give him love. He just like drowned him in love, in warmth. And slowly, this person stopped harassing him, stopped yelling things. He still had a problem with alcohol, but he didn't become, the trouble stopped. Who was this person? Yaron. Yaron, who walked in Simchat Torah morning. He was intoxicated, which was why he was oblivious to everything that had been going on along the way. But he saved the rabbi's life. He saved the rabbi's life because the rabbi had embraced him. He was still coming to shul. Pivoted, stepped up to the plate. Yeah, the great equalizer, even though maybe that wasn't his job in that moment, he stepped up. My friends, at times when this world is crazy, we're all looking like who's going to step up? We have to step up. Nobody else is going to step up for us. I'm not comfortable, that's not my... The Malcolm Shayin Ish, when there's no one around, you got to step up as well. Don't pass on the opportunity. Shabbat Shalom, my friends.